So, hello guys, thank you so much for joining us this evening, our Wednesday night team call. My name is Jenna, for those who do not know who I am. I am one of the directors here within our team, and I am going to be doing a training tonight, guys, on setting up your day for success. Now, as I was saying before I pressed record, before I get started in this business, I was in really bad situation, meaning I get flung into probably the worst time in my life. I was so broke, I was miserable, I was depressed. I felt like I was just existing. I was in this dead end groundhog day job that it was like the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I never really had any purpose in my life. I never really knew what. I just thought, this is the cards I've been dealt, and that's just the way it is. Until I started this business and started surrounding myself with like-minded people and learning from the coaches and the mindset coaches and the 6 and 7 figure earners in our business. And I slowly but surely started to implement a lot of their teachings and what they were telling me to do, because I thought to myself, do you know what? It can't get any worse. Let me just be coachable and listen to what they're trying to tell me today. And one thing that kept constantly being repeated over and over and over again, Jenna, what is your morning routine? What is your morning routine like? Do you even have a morning routine? And I really never. Like I says, my morning routine was snoozing the alarm about 4 times, getting up at the last alarm, running about like my head all fuzzed up, rushing about, late for everything, putting my head right into my phone as soon as I woke up to read about the drama and the gossip and everything that was going on. And it was just a negative space I was in all the time. But it was habit. It was something that I was always doing without even realizing it, until I started listening to these coaches, and they were like, what is it you're listening to? What is it you're reading? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you consuming yourself with? And I thought to myself, what am I consuming myself with? And it was always drama. It was always reading up in the bad things that were happening in the world. So of course I was always in this negative, sad, self-pity mindset. And it wasn't until I started doing this morning routine that everything started to change for me. Because how you start your day is really how you finish it. And this is a quote that I've used for years. But if you think about it like this, because this, I always say, if you have a wee rhyme, it kind of sticks in your head. If you win the morning, you win the day. If you win the day, you win the week. You win the week, you win the month. And you know how it goes. That is the wee saying now I've got ringing in my head. Oh, well, if I win the morning, I'll win the day. If I win the day, I'll win the week. Because why is this important? Because this business, our happiness and our success is 80% mindset and 20% skill. There is thousands of people out there, guys, millions of people out there that are more successful than you, happier than you, and guess what? None of them are any more intelligent than you. They are no better than you whatsoever. A lot of these people have just got a good mindset and faith and belief in themselves, and that's the only reason that they make it happen, because they're no different for you. In fact, you're probably more intelligent than them, and you've got much more going for you than them, but they just have a better mindset and possibly more disciplined. So this is the first thing. Now, as I said before I get started, make sure you've got a wee notepad and a pen, just so you can take a wee couple of notes, because what is it they say? A short pencil is much better than a long memory. We always think that we're going to remember all of this, but guess what? We don't. Whereas if you take notes and you can reflect back in your notes, it will be so much easier to actually start getting into your mindset, your mind, all right? This one you're not going to like, because I certainly did not like it when one of my coaches said this to me. But we need to get up a little bit earlier. Now, I don't mean you go through waking up at 8 o'clock to 5 in the morning, nothing like that whatsoever. You do not need to be a morning person either, but you can train yourself to get up a wee bit earlier. What do I mean by that? Maybe you set your alarm for 7 in the morning. Instead of setting it for 7, set it for 6:45. So you're getting up 15 minutes earlier, right? Only 15 minutes. And then you do that for a week. And then you set it for 6:30. And then you do it for another week. And then you set it for 6:15. You do that for another week. And then you set your alarm for 6 in the morning. That is, do you know how much that is? That's an extra 7 hours a week that you could be using to your advantage to get shit done. 7 hours a week, guys, just by waking up that wee extra hour, hour in the morning earlier. And like I said, you don't go from 7 o'clock then to 6 o'clock. That's difficult, and you set yourself up for failure. But if you actually just take it back 15 minutes and you're winning yourself, you'll be much more successful with this. But you think about that. That's 28 extra hours a month. 28 a month just by getting up that hour extra in the morning. That's 336 hours a year. Think of how much time that is and how much you could do with 336 hours in a year. I know a lot of people could literally build a whole empire just with those hours a year. And this really helps you because guess what? What happens when you wake up in the morning before everybody else? There is so much less distractions. You can get so much more done, better productivity just by getting up that extra hour. Because I know so many mums that say to me, "Oh, I love getting up that wee bit earlier than the kids because then I can get a wee cup of tea in peace." You imagine if you get yourself up a whole hour before the whole house, or even 2 hours before the whole house, just how much you could get done in that wee space of time. So think about how much you could get done. All right. Now, here is some things that helped me change my life and others following the same system. When I started consistently doing this, guys, this is when I started to notice a shift in my business, but not only my business, in my personal life as well. I felt content. I felt centered. I felt accomplished. My confidence started to grow. And then because I started to feel accomplished and I started to feel more confident, guess what happened? Just naturally, my business started to grow and I started to duplicate my success. Here is the first thing that I would advise you to do in the morning, right? Put your phone maybe at the opposite end of your bedroom. One, you're going to have to get out the bed to turn it off. Therefore, you're much less likely to snooze the alarm, right? Because as soon as you're up and you'll have a much higher success rate and no going back to sleep if you do this, all right? But after you put the alarm off, put the phone away and do not pick up your phone as soon as you wake. And I tell you why. Because like I said a minute ago, my old Jenna would pick up the phone and I would say, "Oh, let's have a wee look at my notifications. What's going on in the world of social media?" And I'd hit, "Oh, it's just a wee quick browse before I get ready." And then I would see a post about something political that made me infuriated. Or it was something to do with COVID, or it was somebody had died, or it was something really sad that happened. And guess what? That set my whole morning up for failure because now I feel terrible. I feel angry, I feel sad, I feel emotional, and then guess what? Now everything else isn't going to go as good as it could have been because of the mindset that I'm now in because I picked that phone up. And this is why it is so important, guys. It's not that you're not allowed to look at the phone at all, but make a conscious effort to work on you first. Right? Set your day up first before you pick that phone up. So, number one, the first and most important thing is your hydration. Now, old Jenna She would run into the kitchen, she'd put the kettle on, and she'd make herself a coffee. And that's fine. But I switched that up just for the first half hour, first 40 minutes, right? Now I pick up the detox water that I've been leaving in the fridge the night before that's maybe just water and lemon or water and lemon and lime. And I'll take my lemon water or just my normal water and I'll just stand at the back door hoping there's sunshine, but I live in Scotland, so that's very hard to come by. But it doesn't matter if you're not able to get my vitamin D, right? Even just the fresh air, nice freezing cold water with a bit of lemon and fresh air. Oh God, Stefan has to phone me at the perfect time, doesn't he? Fresh air and like a glass of water. It just wakes you up and increases your mood, right? Number two, mindfulness, reading, meditation. Guys, I remember when somebody says to me, Jenna, you really need to meditate because it's going to and they rhymed out all the benefits. And I've got ADHD. I cannot sit at peace. So the idea of me meditating was just like totally like, oh my God, there's no way I can't sit at peace. But even if it's just 5 minutes, do you know how good this is for you? Do you know what else it helps with? It helps with clarity, knowing what you need to get done that day. It also helps calm you down. It makes you focused, it makes you energized, and again, it gives you clarity. So, even sitting down for 5 minutes to do a wee morning meditation after you've drank some freezing cold water, I promise you guys, this might sound a wee bit woo woo, but I promise this really works, this stuff. And it just changes your whole mindset. It changes your energy. It makes you radiate so much more happiness. And that is so contagious. Number three, some form of exercise, right? So this could be taking the dog out a walk. It could be doing a wee 10-minute yoga. Maybe you put into Netflix and you do like a wee 10-minute yoga session or a wee 10-minute. It doesn't have to be, they say 20 minutes, but even if you start small and then you can increase it as you start being more consistent with this. Because exercise is so good for your mental and physical health. It's also going to sharpen your focus and increase your cortisol levels. And this is what happens when you start giving yourself that attention and giving yourself that time in the morning, working on yourself. Guess what? I start when I go to wake the boys up in the morning or Stefan. I'm no that crazy mum who's like, hurry up, there, get your kids in there. And then it's just the whole house goes up in chaos and we're all highly strung and we all go in a bad mood. And honest to God, this has changed everything. So some form of exercise, it's going to work wonders. Now, you have heard me say this one before if you've been on any of my calls any amount of time. Number four, powerful affirmations about yourself. If you were on that call I done about, I think it was limiting beliefs, I showed a sheet from 1 to 20, I think it was, affirmations that I brainwashed myself with. And I swear to God, see when I screen shared it and I ran through all of my affirmations that were on the list, I think it was Georgina. Georgina says to me, Jenna, when you were reading these affirmations out to me, I just kept thinking to myself, that's Jenna, that's Jenna, that's Jenna, that's Jenna. But guess what? It never used to be. But because I said these empowering affirmations to myself every morning when I was brushing my teeth and washing my face, or maybe I was getting my quick shower, every time I said these affirmations to myself, in the beginning, I felt like an absolute nut job. Like if people if people could see in this bathroom and listen to what I'm saying to myself, they would be like, cuckoo, cuckoo. And I didn't believe them. I felt that awkward pit in my stomach every time I said it. But guess what? See now, I can look in the mirror with confidence that I am this person. I have become this person because I brainwashed myself enough to finally start believing it. It was like, Jenna, I am a six-figure a year earner. I am an amazing mum. And honest to God, if I show you all these, I have brainwashed myself into becoming it. So please write down either 10 to 15 or as many as you want, but I would start with 10 empowering affirmations about yourself. What do you want to become? And say it to yourself every morning as you brush your teeth, wash your face, maybe you're showering, and you're affirming these, right? Number 5, prioritize your lists. I'm going to go over more about this in the next in a minute, but prioritize your lists. What as I said before, you have got to write down everything that you've got to accomplish that day in your personal life and in your business. And then what you do is you mark it from most important to least important, tackling the hardest things first. Trust me, you'll thank yourself later, because the mistake we all make, guys, we always do the easy tasks first, right? And it's just the way most of us are. We tackle the easiest things first. And then it gets to the end of the night and we're all absolutely physically and mentally exhausted. And we look at that hard task on the list and we think, oh, I really don't want to do this right now. I've got no energy and I don't want to handle the rejection, or I can't be bothered going live now, or whatever it is. Whereas if you had just tackled that hardest thing at the very start of your day, you would be now doing the easy tasks in the evening when you've got less energy and you're exhausted. So that's a mistake that most of us make. Start tackling the hardest things first, or the things that you hate the most, your the jobs you hate the most, or the tasks you hate the most. Get them done first. Get them out the way. So now that you have looked after yourself, you're in a better headspace with good energy, you sort your list for the day. And before you sort out your lists, evaluate your priorities. Because we've all got different priorities, we've all got different goals, we've all got everybody's different. But plan out your schedule to maximize your time. I was doing a coaching call. I'm not going to name with who. I was doing a coaching call last week, and I got her to write down everything that she was doing that week, right? And time it all out. And we don't realize how much time that we waste, whether it's watching TV or scrolling on social media, or maybe you're interested in some topic that you heard somebody talking about, then you end up in a scroll hole for an hour and you're like, oh shit, lost track of time, oh no, it's bedtime. We all do it, guys. We all do it. But if you actually plan out your day, even if it's done in hours, you're going to actually figure out what time you really have and what time that you waste on things that aren't going to get you to the dream life that you really want, you know. So when you're obviously number one was evaluate your priorities and plan out your schedule to maximize your time. All right. Number 2, goals. What do you want to make happen that day? So I showed you how to get yourself into the best headspace possible, and now I'm helping you understand what way to write out your plan, your list, and your goals. All right. So what do you want to make happen that day? How many sales do you want? How many sign-ups? Maybe you want to gain knowledge. Maybe you're wanting to focus on planning your content. Is it personal development growth? Do you even know your numbers? Do you know your ratios? Do you know how many people you need to speak to in order to get a sign up? Do you know how many people you need to speak to in order to get a sale? Are you even tracking this? Do you know your numbers? Because us as business owners, something that we should always be tracking is our numbers. It's what all business owners do. They've got to know the numbers. So maybe you've not started doing this yet, or maybe you need help with it. And if that is the case, that is something for sure. Just reach out to your upline, reach out to your mentor, and they will help you with this as well. But track your numbers, because for example, I know that I need to speak to at least 10 people, meaning not just speak to them, but get them onto an opportunity call, get them in front of a presentation, then into a freeway chat, then follow up. I know that I need to speak to at least 10 people to get 1 or 2 sign-ups. But when I first started, that number was probably more like 20 people for 1 or 2 sign-ups. But the more you do it, the better you get. And before you know it, you're doing it with your eyes closed, just like anything you've ever done in your life before. But we're not going into that now. But know your numbers, guys, and sort out your plan out your goals. Number 3, action. Break them down into smaller increments, smaller, more manageable pieces, some actionable steps, and adhere to that. So when I say this, a lot of people, this is where a lot of people fail, right? They go, oh, I need to make £1,000 a month. Right, okay, that's amazing. But they don't break that big £1,000 down to smaller, more manageable pieces. Or maybe you need to go gold, right? And they don't break it down to, okay, well, if I want to go gold in the next 2 months, I need to have one person a week, and break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces so that it doesn't look too hard. Because every big task broken down is easy. All right. So make sure you're breaking it down into smaller increments. Number 4, get your DMO. I've done a training on this before. DMO, basically showing you income producing activities, what to put on your to-do list so that you start bringing in the income or getting the results that you're looking for. Cindy also done a training, so if you've not seen that, I'll reshare that for you. But get a DMO. It's just a better word for a daily tick list. Things that you're going to do every single day that's going to help your productivity. This routine is going to help your productivity, and you do it every single day, starting with the most difficult first to the least difficult. DMO training is really crucial, guys. If you have not seen that, definitely check it out, because guess what? Sometimes we get busy just being busy, but we're not actually busy being productive and getting results. Does that make sense? A lot of us are just busy doing things that aren't going to bring in the money. So make sure once you've created your DMO to-do list, to send it to your director upline and ask them, is this DMO okay? Is this DMO going to help get the results that I want? Now you can only tell us what the results that you want, but we can tell you, okay, nah, this DMO is not going to get you that result. Try this instead. So definitely do that. Write out your DMO, your daily method of operation, and then just clarify with your director upline if this is going to get the results and from the goal that you have. Okay. I've always said this to all of my team, but when we put too much on our to-do list or DMO, what happens is you end up overwhelmed, right? And what happens when you're overwhelmed? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing happens when we're overwhelmed. So please, please do not put 101 things on your DMO. 5 tasks a day. Create a power list. 5 tasks a day that you know that you can get done regardless of how busy you are. Before your head hits the pillow, the things on this list must be completed. It's your non-negotiables. And make sure that list aligns with your goals. Okay? So that is the planning. Now, I've spoke to you about working on yourself in the morning to obviously become a better you, so that you start living a better life. You become more confident. Your mental health starts to get better. Your health starts to get better. Then we've covered the planning. Now I want to speak to you about ending your day the right way, because it's all good and well us doing our morning routine, trying our best to get our tasks done, and then ending the day bad. We can't end the day bad, guys. I want you to have the best life ever. And the best mindset really does, our mindset controls our whole life. Whether you believe it does or not, it's true. So this is why I say to you, to be successful in this business, it is 80% mindset and 20% skill. That's how important it is. It also helps us attract better clients and better business partners. I wish I could show you the people that was in my business when I first started, when I had that horrible mindset. When I had that horrible mindset, I was in that negative, horrible space where I was always complaining. It was always everybody else's fault but mine. I was always having a wee pity party. I was broke. I was miserable. I was just existing. And guess what, guys? I attracted the worst types of people into my business. They were bitchy, they were toxic, they were drama filled, they were complainers who always had a problem with somebody, and they made my life hell. This is why I say we really need to work on our mindsets, because if you don't, you start attracting the worst kind of people into your business. You start attracting the worst type of clients into your business. It really is true. What we put out there, we attract back tenfold. All right. So make sure you remember that, because you're going to attract you're going to attract the wrong types of people unless we develop ourselves. When we put our heads on the pillow at night, what I always think to myself is what am I proud of myself today? Am I proud of the person I was today? Am I proud of the work that I did today? Am I proud of the business owner that I'm becoming? Did I put my all in? Because when we put our heads on the pillow at night, are we the person that we really want to be, sleeping soundly, knowing that I did all the things I really wanted to do today? Am I being the woman or man, if you're a man, I said I was going to be? We can lie to others, but we deep down, we cannot lie to ourselves. And I was lying to myself for so long. So long. I would say probably I've been doing this 6 years. It's probably only been maybe the last 3 years that I actually started to admit that I wasn't doing what I know I should be doing, you know? Because these things really, really matter. They really, really matter. End your day strong so you have a better tomorrow. What is it I always say to my kids? Guys, if you go to your bed upset, guess what? If you're thinking of something that, oh, everything that went wrong today, and maybe you're stressed and you're worried or something bad happened, and guess what? See, if that's the last thing you think about, what is going to happen when you wake up? The last thing you thought about is usually the first thing you think of when you wake up. So we want to try and switch that pattern, change that pattern so that that stops happening. And in order for that to stop happening, so that you don't wake up upset, or you don't wake up sad, or you don't wake up in a funk, and you don't wake up feeling anxious, it all starts with the stuff that you do before you go to your bed. So what I do is I create my list at night time for the next day so that I don't need to do it in the morning and I can spend more time working on myself, doing my meditation, doing my affirmations, doing a wee bit of exercise. I do my list the night before. And guess what I do? I brain dump onto paper. And my doctor told me to do this years ago when I had really bad panic attacks and anxiety. And I was a worrier. I kept myself up all night. I wasn't able to sleep. And he suggested, Jenna, get a notebook, get a pen, and every single thing that comes into your head, put it onto a sheet of paper. Brain dump onto paper. It will massively help you sleep better, right? So create your list for the next day. Brain dump. Maybe you said you were going to message 10 people and you never. You only done 8. So you know you've got to do an extra 2 the next day. Or maybe you said you were going to go live and guess what? You never done it. You let yourself down. So all of this kind of stuff. When you've made a commitment to yourself and you've not done it, that's the kind of stuff that I brain dump onto paper. Or maybe you said, oh shit, I forgot to message Angela. It's too late to message Angela now. So let me write that on the bit of paper. Message Angela in the morning and you write all of this kind of stuff down. Brain dump everything, guys. And when you then sort your list the night before, it will help you wake up tomorrow with purpose. You will have purpose. You'll have a sense of direction. You'll have a sense of direction and excitement instead of not knowing what to do. All right. It will also help you prioritize. Journal before bed. Now, I wish I've said this so many times, but I wish I journaled when I first started this business. Just to look back at just how far I've came. Now I know I've came a long way. Anybody that knows me know I've came a long way. But I wish I journaled, oh my God, at the start of my journey. It also allows you to get to know yourself, guys. It really allows you to get to know yourself. And then you can always go back and think, oh, do you know what? I never want to be like that person again. I'm so glad I don't think like that anymore. But it's so good to reflect back on. You know what I mean? Journal before bed. Maybe do a wee quick meditation, wee 5-10 minute meditation, just to chill yourself out and relax yourself. Do not take any stressful calls. So if you know that I'm speaking from experience, by the way. If you know that your mum or your dad is always phoning you with problems or something bad that's happened, or complain about your sisters or talk about somebody, don't take any stressful calls before bed. Don't answer the call. You can always speak to them tomorrow. Don't answer the call or even the message. Maybe you know that somebody is problematic and they message you all the time because they want you to solve all their problems. Guys, that's another thing. We cannot solve the problems. You've got to focus on yourself first before anybody. And this is so important for you becoming your best self, is to cut all this out. Do you know when I started working on myself and becoming aware of all this stuff, and I stopped answering the problematic calls, or when the person phoned me, oh, you'll never guess what happened, or did you see what happened to such and such? Like drama, constantly, constant drama. See, when I stopped, like, I stopped engaging and I stopped feeding that stuff, guess what? They knew not to phone me with drama and BS anymore. My phone does not ring with drama and BS anymore because they know I won't accept it. They know I'm not on that page anymore. So they don't stress me out with all that kind of stuff anymore. All right. So don't take any stressful calls. Don't reply to any stressful negative messages, and be selfish in the evenings to wind down. Maybe you take half an hour and an hour before you go to bed to wind down, to do a wee bit of meditation, to journal your thoughts and feelings onto paper, to brain dump, and one thing that's helped me massively, because I'm one of these people, I've got ADHD, so my mind is blah, 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 and then I try and go to relax. It's like, oh, no, you need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, it just doesn't stop. It goes and goes and goes and goes. So I started using sleep sounds. I typed into YouTube, because I heard this by another 6 and 7 figure earner. I typed into YouTube millionaire mindset sleep, or sleep meditation, or 111 hertz, like just that, like these sounds. It's just so calming and so relaxing, and it might take time for you to get used to it. But now I cannot go to sleep unless I've got one of these playing. And guess what, guys? I am programming myself as asleep. Did you know that your conscious mind might be sleeping when you're asleep, but your subconscious mind is always still awake? So you can program your own mind as you sleep. I used to put on confidence sleep talks, millionaire mindset sleep talks, all of these different things, and they would play into my head as I slept. And I honestly believe a lot of my confidence and showing up on social media without even thinking, and attracting more money than I ever thought I could ever possibly make in my life. A lot of it is due to me programming myself as asleep in this morning routine in my night, in my wind down at night. So soothing sounds. Maybe you're one of these people that likes to read, and if that's the case, get your book out. Maybe it's a personal development book. Maybe, what's that one, The Secret, or a network marketing book, or some book, and you sit and read for 20 minutes before you go to sleep. Get the phone away, guys. Don't have blue light as you try and sleep, because that's why I have had trouble sleeping for so long, because I would sit on my phone and just literally and keep myself up all night. So have like this wee ritual that you do at night, right? This will help you go into your next day feeling amazing. If you personally develop before bed, you will wake up feeling so much better. Finish strong, guys. Finish strong. I believe in you. One thing is as well, I just want to add another really good book. Most of you, if you've been in this business a few years anyway, you will know what I'm talking about. But there's a book called Miracle Morning. Andrea, is that what it's called? Is it Miracle Morning? Mi- Miracle Morning. That book goes over a lot of what I've covered and more. It was Miracle Morning. One of my coaches, who is one of those coaches who does not take any crap, and she was one of the coaches, if you didn't complete the tasks that she gave you, she would then remove you from her list of people she was helping. All that Andrea's shown, is it? If I didn't complete the task that she gave me, she would remove me from her list of leaders that she was going to be coaching. And she was one of the ones who says to me, you need to read the Miracle Morning. And she told me to do it. I done it. That book is amazing, guys. If you've never read it before, definitely check it out. Andrea, say something so your book is up so they can see the screen. Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Let me.
There we go.
That's it
Can
there,
you see
guys.
it?
The Miracle Morning. It's an amazing book. And when I gave a lot of people this, like, this is what to follow. They're like, but I don't, but as soon as I don't have time to do that in the morning. What I said at the start of this call was, if you set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier this week, and then you do that for a full week, and then you take another 15 minutes off, and then you do it for another week until you get to that extra hour, that will give you 7 extra hours in that week. You could do this with all that time. See that time? That will set your whole day up. And when I do my Miracle Morning, then I radiate that positive energy, guys. And when I'm speaking to people in voice notes, they can sense my energy's high, and it attracts more sales. It attracts more business partners because I'm energetic, I'm positive, I am literally thriving. And then that goes out to the world and I start attracting it all back in. It all starts with the morning. Like I says, you win the morning, you win the day. You win the day, you win the week. You win the week, you win the month. Is every day going to be amazing? Of course it isn't, guys. We all have bad days. But don't turn that bad day into a bad week. Draw a line in it. Get your wee retro and start again. And don't be too hard on yourself. You've got to understand, if you've never done anything like this before, it's going to take time for it to start becoming a habit. But if you're just consistent with it, before you know it, you'll do it with your eyes. You'll do it with your eyes closed. I do this stuff now, like, without even realizing it now, because I've been doing it for so long. It's like it's ingrained into, you know how we always say when you start doing things on autopilot, like you never used to drive your car on autopilot when you first started, but now you do. This stuff's exactly the same. If you're consistent with this stuff and you get your DMO, it's a successful DMO, and you follow it and you complete it and you date consistently for at least a month, you're going to start doing it on autopilot. And that is how you're going to create that momentum. Then once you create the momentum, it's so much easier to build your business. It's so much easier to get the client sales. It's so much easier to get the sign-ups and the business partners. It all starts with working on yourself. 80% mindset and 20% skill. It really, really is. You don't need to be this big influencer with thousands of followers. You don't need to have your shit together. You just need to be consistent for a period of time, doing things that you know that works. And if you don't know what works, find out what works. Speak to your directors. But I promise you, if somebody like me can make it happen, you can make it happen.